Excuse me, what the actual fuck was that?
Well, you'd know all about that if you'd seen every Mauga Tech you need to know in brackets Overwatch 2 by clown.er. I'm gonna teach you each of the important Mauga Techs you need to know now that he's dropped in-game. Let's go. Focus, thank you. I'm gonna start out with a very important general tip here. Now, not a tech, I'm not labeling this as a tech, but it's equally as important to know as the other techs, right? How to shoot with Mauga. Now, some people are gonna look at that and be like,
what the actual fuck is that?
Let me elaborate. When you're close to someone, you would obviously like to use both your guns at the same time. But what about when you're not? I mean, using both your guns at this range would spread your bullets out like the Chinese pneumonia. Instead, what you want to do is use your incendiary gun, your left gun, to set your target alight, and then use your right gun to get critical damage on burning fellas. I talked about this more thoroughly in a previous Mauga video I made, so if you want a more in-depth description of the fundamentals about Mauga, I'd strongly advise you check that one out before you check this one out. I'll leave it in an information, it's mirrored, so it'll be here. Mauga's double boop. Again, this was in the previous video that I mentioned about Mauga, labeled as a tech, and yet there were numerous comments being like,
this isn't a tech. Excuse me, what the actual fuck is that? You're an imbecile!
I'm sorry. It's fine. I mean, you're just uninformed. That's all. Let me break it down. Mauga's charge has two ways to boop people. You can ram them out of the way, or you can call it early and slam on them instead. This technique, because that's what it is, it's a technique, is combining the two by ensuring that you line up your boop direction with whatever direction you will be slamming in, making your target of choice booped once by your charge and then booped a second time by your slam. Did you know that with Mauga's slam, you don't actually need a surface to jump from? That's right, which brings us to our next tech, the air hop. Air hopping is essentially activating your slam mid-air to use your charge to reach places you wouldn't usually be able to. It's a niche little movement tech, but it comes in pretty handy when there are little ledges like these on the map that you'll be playing him on. Now we move on to the most important and essential Mauga tech. I didn't really come up with an appropriate name for this one. Some would call it bunny hopping. I wouldn't personally. I'd call it slam cancelling, if anything, because, I'd call it, I'll call it slam cancelling instead of bunny hopping because for this tech, you use your slam, and then once you use your slam, you cancel it. This is another movement tech and is especially useful for situations like coming back from spawn. All you need to do is press the cancel charge button right as Mauga is jumping, and he will jump and cancel the slam at the same time. This is useful for many reasons, the main one being that you are not locked into that slam, so you don't have any downtime from moving, making it faster overall. This also starts the cooldown for the charge ability just a bit earlier, allowing you to use it again just that little bit faster. It's important to note down a few things when performing this one. The first is that this tech only applies to when the charge ability automatically comes to an end. Unfortunately, you cannot cancel the slam like this when you manually stop the charge yourself. And the second thing is that it is a finicky timing. You might not get it right away, but hey, I mean, if you do, kudos to you, right? And the final one I've got for you here is an extension of the tech, the double boop.
Can you guess what it is? Are there any guesses?
Mauga's triple boop! This tech involves the same principle as the double boop, however you intentionally utilize the environment around you to get yourself stuck on things so that you can boop the same person a second time before slamming and landing that final boop. That's all the Mauga techs you need to know whilst playing him in Season 8. Maybe, just maybe, you know a little Mauga tech that clown.er doesn't, huh? I forgot to include it in this video. Write it down below if I did, and any video suggestions, of course, all that good stuff. I'm clown.er. You're probably in your underpants right now. Feliz Navidad.